Here is my testimony on Thursday, a testimony of how I joined the ministry in Winners Chapel after a written interview. I wrote this interview, in fact, that day we were called after filling the forms, and I never expected that as pastors or as aspiring pastors in the ministry were going to write any tests. On arrival, we were made to sit down, and we sat, and suddenly I had a voice: study, read something about the ministry. I remember I had only 500 naira with me, so I got into the bookstore and bought a magazine. It was like a magazine on Eagle's Wings, about the 30 years or so in the ministry, thereabout. I picked this magazine and I read it. Fortunately, when the test was called, the written test, or written interview as it may be, most of the things I read came out as questions. And I remember I was so glad, and I wrote, and I was very happy. Afterwards, we were called for an oral interview, which we did, and then we were told to go back and they will get back to us. After a few weeks, we were told that the list of successful candidates have been posted on the notice board. I can't forget that day. My dad drove me, all expecting to see my name. And then on arrival, there's a way you would so go through certain things that even when you see your breakthrough, you might still doubt or not even recognize it. So on my arrival, still tensed, I tried to check for my name on that board. Brethren, I didn't see my name. I was so discouraged. I was so downcast. My dad himself was so downcast. He wanted me out of the home at all costs as a graduate, and we couldn't see my name. I was down and out. In fact, tears dropped my eyes. My eyes became teary, and he felt for me. And then he said, well, maybe this is not your turn. Let's get back into the car. But deep down in me, I felt my name should be there. I turned back, this time from a distance, just about the passenger side of the car. And I turned back to that list and said, let me take one more glance. And suddenly, I saw my name very long, Obinna Augustine in Kemjika, and I jumped. Daddy, my name is there. Now, the both of us did look at this list, like one after the other. I don't know for what reason, but we didn't see it. But you know what? I saw my name. I saw my name. Afterwards, we were invited for an induction, which I also went. And after that, I remember very well that we started getting information that people have been called and posted, and I didn't get mine. I can't forget that Wednesday. I went to midweek service and I met the assistant resident pastor. I told him, people have been receiving their letters. I've not received mine. And he said, well, just believe God. And then I went home. While worried, I had a voice. Faithful is he who has called you, who also will do it. I know I've heard it before, but I didn't know the exact scripture. And I began to search for it, and I found it in 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 and verse 24. I read it, and then that confidence came back. And suddenly, as I laid back on my bed, the home phone rang. And it was Living Faith Church, Garden of Faith, Kaduna, that was calling. And they said, come for your letter tomorrow. Now, here is it. What is that thing you are expecting that looks as if it's far from you? You're going to get it. This testimony is to strengthen you. Is there anything you are believing God for that you want so well, but it's seeming far, it's looking so far from you? Drop it in the comment section, and I join my faith with yours that it shall be done. Also, share that one testimony that you never thought you could have, but somehow God came through for you. I'll be waiting in the comment section.